Hello and welcome to the Really Big Podcast with me, Seb and...
Me, Ollie Johnson. It's a bit smaller this week, there's only two of us.
I know, no Sam this week. We were going to do one earlier this week, but I've been really, really ill. My voice still isn't 100%, then again it never was, so...
Yeah. That aside, we're here now.
Well, it's been a bit of a week in the news. I've got some news for you, if you're willing to hear.
Sure, go ahead.
Right then, how's this for a headline? This is a real headline. They found a Nazi Buddha that came from space.
I'm sorry, what?
You want me to elaborate, don't you?
Please do.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to. Right, anyway, you know how in the 1930s the Nazis were interested in, sort of...
I thought you were going to say in the 1930s the Nazis were interesting.
Oh yeah, they were a bit
they're boring now.
Yeah. Yeah, the novelty wore off.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Anyway, yes. They're interested in sort of artefacts, like in the Indiana Jones movies. But anyway, they found this thing in Tibet, which was a big Buddha carved from rock. Yeah. They took it back with them. Scientists looking over this, archaeologists, they found out that it was carved from a meteorite.
Oh.
So yeah, this was quite literally a Nazi Buddha that came from space.
Wow.
Another thing that might interest you, Ollie, in particular. 2 people in Brighton were banned from an all-you-can-eat restaurant for eating too much. Well, the staff apparently were quite forthright with them and called them filthy pigs. And the co-owner said when he was watching them, it was like watching sharks feast when they close their eyes and, get in there. And apparently they were pushing and shoving people out the way to get to their food, and they had something like 12 bowls each of food.
Oh my god.
But you can picture them in your head, can't you?
I can. I'm picturing Hurley from Lost and Chris Farley.
Yeah, I'm sort of got that in my mind. But yeah, another thing that might interest you, a bit of an interesting piece of the news.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently there was this woman in Ireland who was stealing clothes and also a baby's pram from a shop. And she was so busy shoplifting, she accidentally left her baby behind in the store. Think about it, God. She was stealing a baby's pram and she left her baby. I mean, I could just imagine like a comic thing on the CCTV, her running out with the pram and looking in like, there's nothing there. Isn't there usually some sort of accessory that comes with these? Oh, the baby!
Priorities.
I can't do an Irish accent, so I'm not even going to try.
Isn't there some sort of accessory that comes with this?
Well, it sounds a bit butch for...
Yeah, I suppose it did.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got this new thing I'm going to try out, a bit of an experiment. Like this part, I use various musical clues from the songs to form a headline. And you have to, try and figure out what the headline was, and I'll tell you a bit about it. And also, anyone listening to the show, if they want to get a bit interactive, they can, list what the songs were in it, and perhaps I'll get a mention in a future episode.
Oh, okay.
Right, so play the clip. Right then, what do you make of this?
Mars rover finds riverbed.
Yeah, anyway, the Mars rover found a riverbed in evidence of those once flowing water.
So the Mars rover found a riverbed?
Yeah,
well, that's
the bed of a river.
Yeah, I'm actually quite excited about space exploration. I like the idea of cities on Mars.
Well, they said nothing about cities. We're only talking about riverbeds. Don't get overexcited.
Well, yeah, but, we have a very conspicuous goal with space exploration, to get from where we are to where Star Trek was. Now,
was?
Well, is. Well, the obvious objectives here are different. The scientists want to do it in the name of discovery. I want a jetpack.
Oh, you're a bit like disabled Django Fett. Right, anyway.
Standing ovation.
What do you make of that?
Labour Party, Ed Miliband, standing ovation.
Yeah, apparently he made a speech the other day and people liked it.
Wow. Ed Miliband? Trollface?
Oh, Don't be me. People liked it.
I think the only way he could get a standing ovation is he actually sang Trollala.
Yeah, why not? I mean, politicians going into music, I think it's a trend.
Yeah.
Alright, here's this one. The beginning bit's a bit difficult to understand, that's why I didn't want to play it. We can edit it out if you don't like it.
Okay.
I thought it sounded good, but other people might not if they don't know the songs.
Right.
Cornwall.
Didn't quite understand that one. What does it say?
Rocket ran up in Cornwall.
Oh.
Yeah, they're testing this rocket motor which they could attach to a car and break the world speed record.
Wow.
I know. And anyway, if anyone out there recognises any of the songs and the clips and wants to post them on our page, then please do that. You might get a mention in a future episode. Well, you were telling me, Ollie, about this time. Look at your face. You know what's coming. You're telling me about this time when you fell in the wrong crowd, and I was picturing funny things in my head, so please tell me.
Alright. When I was about 7, I think, 7 or 8, I could walk around at the time. On long distance, I'd use crutches.
Yeah.
And I had this bizarre tendency...
Once you start attacking people with them?
Only when I was sword fighting with my brother with sticks. We used to do that all the
But
time.
that means you have a distinct advantage because you haven't strapped your arm.
Yeah, I would never drop my weapon.
Exactly.
I preferred to just use a stick and not use the crutches.
Unfair advantage.
Well, no, it's just, in a way, the crutches hindered me because I had to lean on them. At least one of them. And that restricted movement somewhat. And basically, there was a cul-de-sac near where I lived. There was a cul-de-sac full of kids who were all swearing a lot. You know, you've seen South Park. That is actually how kids talk when no one else is around.
Yeah.
I liked one or two of the kids in that cul-de-sac. They were good examples of a lot of them, to be fair. But they hung around with these other kids who, well, were a bit chavvy.
Yeah, the wrong crowd.
Yeah, the wrong crowd. And we had a habit of, I don't know, going up to the corner shop buying some sweets.
Oh my god, I think you told me this. Didn't you hide stuff in your wheelchair and have cavities?
I didn't have a wheelchair at the time. I had a coat with a lot of pockets. And I said, I'm going to impress my new friends and steal stuff.
I can't picture that happening.
I know, you couldn't, would you? I was 8.
Ah.
But, and I did. I made a habit of it. I never got caught until I actually broke down and kind of solemnly confessed to my mum that I was stealing.
Well, didn't the, stuff there notice, or...?
No, I was very discreet. Well, discreet as an 8-year-old could be. I imagine they thought something was suspicious about a kid just going in and out of the shop a few times without buying anything. But who seemed to know exactly...
You like the ambience.
Yeah, who seemed to know exactly where he was going at all times and didn't really look around.
You confess.
I told my mum what I'd been doing. She told the shop and paid them for it. And I still, to this day, take a small measure of pride in the fact that the only reason anybody knows is because I told them.
Is it just like guilt?
I suppose it was. I just felt like, it had gone on for long enough. And
Was it a really serial thing?
No, well, I made quite a habit of it, as I said.
Do you have like a stash?
Not a stash. It was just, whenever...
Well, no, I think you're a bit too young to grow any facial hair, but...
Well, we'd all do it, but I was the only one that came forward. And because, well, I wasn't entirely guilt-ridden back then, I actually lied, and I said that one of the kids threatened me.
What?
Well, he didn't threaten me per se, but peer pressure was a big part of it. As a result, I wasn't allowed near that kid again. Not that that made a difference.
Oh my god. How long did this... Well, how old were you when it ended?
Oh, 8. It didn't go on for more than a month or two, but in that month or two, I did it quite a few times.
But the only funny story that comes to mind when I saw something was when, well, we because you were an accomplice, stole the wheelbarrow.
Oh my god.
Now this sounds weird.
I had no idea what you were planning, but my sitting there and not stopping you, I suppose, made me an accomplice.
Yeah, well, pretty much it was this performing arts project. We were doing a sketch for performing arts, and, well, we needed a wheelbarrow for the sketch. We couldn't find one, couldn't get any permission. But we're doing a bit of building work, and, no builders around, all went off for lunch, so, we put two and two together, found a relatively clean wheelbarrow with nothing in. We thought, well, when there's empty wheelbarrows, let's take them.
I would laugh if 5 seconds after we'd left someone come in with a really heavy load and looked for the wheelbarrow. That was really inconsiderate.
Well, I said that in two ways. Do you remember where I hid it, for the day before the show?
Yeah, you hid it in the assembly hall.
Yeah, I hid it in the cafeteria. It's a good thing that none of the dinner ladies came in. It really is. They would have been blocked.
But then we used it on that play we'd put together. I mean, did no one sort of clock on and think, wait a minute, where did they get that wheelbarrow?
I think they were distracted by how brilliant it was.
Well, I'd like to believe that.
All right, fair enough. You were good too.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened to it in the end.
I don't know.
Because I think that was the last day we were ever there.
So a wheelbarrow's missing. There'll be no hospital, then I'll tell the children.
I remember that because I saw it on the same day that Michael Jackson died. Not that there was...
And we had a few Michael Jackson references in there that we wrote before he died.
We'd sort of managed to disguise it as a tribute, which I think we did well at.
Yeah. I was talking about the news. I know this is kind of old news now, but apparently Lady Gaga's back in the news for putting on weight.
What, like how much weight?
I don't know. I can't remember. Quite a bit, apparently. I mean, I hate slow news weeks as much as anyone. Like that story that's apparently.
Well, it's not a slow news week, where Turkey's just gone.
Well, it's not now, but it was at the time. But there was a story that Emma Watson had a crush on Tom Felton when she was 10, and I thought, why are they reporting this? Huh?
Yeah, you can imagine in the news. Rupert Grint once watched Star Wars. He liked it.
Yeah, but back on topic. Now, Lady Gaga said she'd stay out of the news for ages. I don't know if she's, for a year. I don't know if a year has passed since she said that. But it's nice to see her in the news for something mundane for a change, rather than, I don't know, wearing an outfit made out of cow placenta or something. Now, I've never been a fan of Lady Gaga, but to wear those outfits or whatever, as a performer, I've got to admire the guts. No pun intended. Why did I say?
Oh my god, that's clever.
Yeah, no pun intended. But, I studied performing arts for 3 years, and anyone who has the guts to stroll out in public wearing an outfit made out of raw meat, well, whether I like them or not, I respect them for that. Just for the guts.
Right, well, I think it's that time of the week where we've got our usual guest.
Which one?
The Professor.
Oh, Professor Lyric.
Yeah, good guy. Haven't seen him for the last few weeks. May have noticed we weren't in the same room for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I know. What's up with that?
Yeah, but you've definitely been in the same place at the same time.
Have we? When?
You're not helping.
Oh, yeah. I'm not, am I? Right then, without further ado, I think he's got something special planned this week. Okay. Professor Lyric. Hello, I am Professor Lyric, and today I will examine the work of the great musical expert Elvis. His song Viva Las Vegas is a great insight into the superstitious and God-fearing nature of humanity and the mob mentality, and how our fears of a great evil can unintentionally lead us to make harsh decisions. Elvis speaks in fear of the bright light city that intends to set his soul on fire, using money as kindling in order to burn him alive. He also refers to people getting ready to raise their stakes up higher, confirming his suspicions that the townsfolk of Las Vegas believe Elvis to be a vampire. He refers to thousands of pretty women waiting out there for his imminent death, and Elvis even begins to believe the awful things that are being accused of him by the townsfolk, referring to himself disappointedly as the devil with love to spare. In fact, it is easy to come to the conclusion that the victim of this witch hunt may indeed be a supernatural entity after all, as Elvis refers to going without sleep for an entire 24-hour day, flashing neon, being able to turn day into nighttime and night into daytime, and most bizarrely of all, increasing the temperatures of dice exponentially to make them hot. In conclusion, you can never be too careful when it comes to those with unnatural abilities. Back to the studio.
Well, thank you, Professor Lyric.
Yeah, I mean, Elvis, I'll never think the same of him again.
No.
No, you could just say that I'm in a suspicious mindset about him.
Suspicious, man.
Well, then again, if we did not have suspicious minds, then we could go on by those. Right. Anyway, that's enough for this week, I think. Yes, from me and
me.
yeah.
We'll see you some other time, and hopefully with more.
I'll be
of
busy
this.
next week, but we'll try and do one next week with luck.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye.